I've made countless videos about how bad sugar is for the human body, but there just isn't enough awareness in India about this fact. You know, every time families are out for dinner, they'll always order dessert or they'll always go to an ice cream parlor after the dinner. Like it's a very normal thing. Or even at home, after having a heavy meal, families will serve chocolates to everyone. Now, this small act of, having that little bit of sugar after your meal is actually making people a lot unhealthier than they are. It's making people fat, and eventually it's going to lead to a lot of long-term health problems. Sugar has been scientifically proven to be an addictive substance. Your brain reacts to it the same way it reacts to cocaine. So it can actually be compared to snorting a line of cocaine. But the worst part about this is that parents are very, very casual about this fact. They'll still feed their children pastries and chocolates, and unknowingly they're actually making their own children addicts of sugar. Most overweight and unhealthy people that I know personally have a major affinity for desserts. You go to any slightly overweight person and you'll always see more than the fried food, it's always the carbohydrates and the desserts which are actually making them fat. Whenever they're hungry, instead of filling their stomach with normal nutritious food, they look for desserts and they probably fill it with that. Every single day, these guys are having something sweet. Now, if you're one of those people, don't tell me that you can't kill your own sweet tooth, because that's a scientifically wrong statement. If you know how to play the game right, you can actually kill your own sweet tooth for life. The word quarantine comes from Italian, where it literally means 40 days. The process of quarantine was actually used to isolate individuals from the general public to prevent the spread of diseases, and quarantines also used to help drug addicts overcome their drug addiction. Now, the drug can be anything. It can be heroin, meth, coke, or even the worst of all drugs, sugar. Yes, I think sugar is the worst of all drugs because it's that easily accessible. Any 10-year-old can go to a general store, pay $10 for a packet of biscuits, consume that sugar, get an affinity towards sugar, and eventually become an addict. And that addiction leads to a number of health problems later in life. That is why I feel quarantine is a necessity to overcome sugar. Coming to the challenge that BeerBiceps is setting you, the viewer. Today we're going to be talking about the BB40 challenge. Now I'm going to challenge you guys to quarantine yourselves from sugar for 40 days. 40 days, that's it. So no sugar, no desserts, no honey, no jaggery, no alcohol, and yes, even no fruits. The whole point of quarantine is not to have even the slightest amount of sugar. Fruits definitely have healthy sugars, but they're still sugars. What you want to be doing is isolating yourself completely from all sugars. So there shouldn't even be a little bit of sweet taste in your own mouth. Now, a drug addict's brain is actually wired to like that particular drug. Every time they consume it, they get a rush of happiness. The same thing happens with sugar. Your brain is currently wired to like sugar. So every time you're consuming it, you're feeling really happy. It's exactly like being a drug addict. But what 40 days of quarantine does is that it rewires your brain. So any drug addict who goes through quarantine for 40 days actually rewires their own brain and begins to dislike that same drug. They basically see their own brain from a third person's point of view. That's what I want to achieve with this challenge. I want all of you to see how bad sugar is for yourselves. In the 40 days of doing this challenge, your body is going to undergo a lot of changes. The biggest of which is weight loss. You're going to undergo at least 3 to 8 kgs of weight loss depending on how much exercise you do along with the diet. But the challenge isn't related to exercise. It's purely a diet challenge. This is a challenge open to anyone. It's a weight loss challenge where the prize is killing your sweet tooth for life and a guaranteed weight loss of 3 to 8 kgs. So who doesn't want that? I challenge everybody. It doesn't matter if you're fat, you're skinny, you're tall, you're short, you're a man, you're a woman. Take up this challenge, and I guarantee you, besides the weight loss part, obviously, you'll see a lot of other benefits. Now, I know 40 days without sugar can be really hard for some people, but that's why I'm introducing a concept of cheating in these 40 days. I'm not one of those people who recommend sweeteners because they're not actually natural. They're chemically made and they're not great for your body, but only if you're craving sugar like crazy. For these 40 days, whenever your craving's unbeatable, you can consume just a bit of sweetener with whatever you want to have. Out of all the sweeteners available in the market, I recommend stevia, which is a natural sweetener. It's derived from a plant and it has very, very low sugar. So New Year's is just around the corner and I recommend most of you all start then. So enjoy your Christmas and your New Year's with all the sugar and alcohol, and then that should propel you into doing this 40-day challenge. So if you do want to be a part of this challenge, make sure you join our Facebook group, Fit India. You can find the link to Fit India on my official Facebook page. www.facebook.com/BeerBiceps. And initiate the challenge. You can also make an Instagram post using the hashtag BB40challenge. So this post can be anything. It can be a gym selfie, it can be a regular selfie, or it can even be one of those foods that you've eaten to overcome a craving. To know more about foods to help you overcome cravings, go watch my previous video on how to beat sugar cravings and junk food. At BeerBiceps, we aim to make Fit India the community of the fittest Indians, and you are welcome to be part of it. So remember guys, log on to my official Facebook page and join the challenge. Remember, weight loss and sweet tooth murder for life. Let's make India a fitter place.